What's up, everybody? Evan J. Thomas here. We have a special treat for you today. Today's episode, we have American Overdose. The guys are hailing from Portland, Oregon. They have new music out, and we're going to get into this interview here in a moment. So here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? We got Cody Perez here of American Overdose. How's it going, boss?
What's going on? It's going good, man. I can't complain. I'm keeping busy with the band and keeping busy with everything in my life right now, so I can't complain. I like to keep myself busy because it keeps me out of trouble.
That's always a good thing. Staying busy, always keeping you out of trouble. That's always a good thing. Today, for me, not so much. I wasn't busy this afternoon, so got into a little trouble, but not too bad. So you guys got some new music out. Time Bomb was just recently released, and
Yes, sir.
my magazine picked it up, Sound Fury magazine, and I absolutely love that you guys shared it. So you and I, before we jumped on, kind of talked a little bit about, this whole media sharing thing, and I want you to kind of go into what it means for media nowadays to actually pick up actual outlets of stuff from bands, because to me it's still hugely important for the growth of a band.
It's extremely important, and it's weird that sometimes they pick up certain things, and then some things like they just don't even bother like sharing, and then you look at certain things they share, and they're like, really, it must be a slow media day today if they're posting about so and so that they had this for lunch. I'm like, what? Like, not literally, but sometimes they pick up some really weird, strange stuff that just doesn't matter and no one really cares about. And you'll see it in the comments, but I'm a firm believer that media is the way that to get your name out there. And like we were discussing right before we started recording here, it's equally as important for the bands to share the media, like to their audience, what you're doing, because if you don't matter, then why does it matter that you're covering the band, And so like you have to be like, hey, check out this media site that picked up our story. Go support them, go like them, and then it works both ways. You're helping out the bands help you out and get more traction your way. And I guess the ultimate goal is to get more traffic, right, to your websites, to your social medias, and same for the band. So I think it's as important as ever, just because there's so much media out there now, like that you can be a part of. But I like to always anytime someone shares our stuff, I definitely give them at least I'll give them a comment, I'll like it, and then I'll share it, and I'll just say shout out to so and so. Thank you for sharing or picking up our song and sharing it with your audience, because it's very important. Those people will remember, like the bands that do it and don't. There's a lot of lazy bands that don't do it and don't care. Maybe they don't have time, or they just don't see it as important. But we always do see it as important to do.
And it's interesting because obviously we're doing this interview because of that. So
I appreciate that.
I commented, you gave me your email. You're like, hey, let's set this up. So now you're here. Now we're doing this interview. And like you said, there's so many media outlets out there. And it's very interesting how fickle they are. You kind of mentioned it. They pick up certain things, but then they don't pick up others. They'll pick up a, social media post of somebody doing a laughing emoji on the release of a song. So
yeah.
I don't really want to go into that, but like you said, it's like, where did this come out? Where it's like, it's almost like a viral thing now for a lot of media outlets. That's kind of what they're looking for. They're looking for more of the beefs, the information there that kind of is more of the viral stuff. And it looks like somebody else is jumping on. We got B.
Oh, look, so your guitarist.
What's up, B? Can you hear us? No, I don't think he can. You need to put your ears in.
That, or he's probably in his Bluetooth. His Bluetooth's probably all jacked up on his car.
Oh, there you go. That might be
maybe.
So let me see if he ends up listening to what we are able to say. But like I was saying, the media whole thing of picking up an actual, he's gone for now. He'll come back hopefully. Yeah. But yeah, the whole thing of just picking up like a viral moment rather than actually pushing the music, that to me doesn't sound very productive. What do you think?
It doesn't sound productive, but I think what they're trying to pick up is a story. Like everyone wants a story. Now with a band, you have to have a story, you have to have a background, you have to have a mission statement, you have to have all sorts of things to what it is that you do. It's more than just a band anymore. It's more than just a song. It's more than just a video. People want a story behind it. They want to be able to relate to it. They want it. You know, if you're into the sci-fi stuff, you want it. You want something that's not around you and everything you're seeing. It's funny that metal has really gone into that route where they're loving the style, the beef, like you said, that was very popular and still is popular with like rap and hip hop and all that stuff.
Yep.
And probably, you know, what it is that this stuff has always existed. It's just that, you know, now people are calling things out, or now everyone's got a voice and everyone's got something to say. And you may think that this person is like this great person, and all of a sudden someone shines a different perspective of them and puts them on the spotlight. And it's like, oh, well, really? We never knew that. Or, oh yeah, we've heard that. Let's go ahead and share it. I'm not gonna lie. When I see something like that, I always get interested. I'm clicking on it and I'm looking at it, and I'm gonna
You're
read
not wrong.
all.
You're not wrong. I mean,
And then I go down the tunnel, and I go down the tunnel. If I see certain comments in there that really stand out, I go and click on that person's profile to see how they know that. Because, you know, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I know that person personally, and you know, you go down that rabbit hole and whatnot. And I think just people like to they're people want a story, and they like the stories of it. And just posting a song alone to people is not always a story, you know, to those media sites.
so just making sure. Can he hear us now? Is he there? Can you hear me? No, he's gone once again. Oh my god. What I was gonna say on that note, so you know, just a little example. You got anything with Ronnie Radke. He just absolutely loves throwing his name out there and, like you said, calling people out. It makes
Yeah.
sense, and people are eating that shit up. So it's like you're right. I know it is the era of like um, TV shows that are reality TV and all that bullshit. So that does draw people to the music, to everything that's going on. And my next question, my next kind of comment going on, you guys started in 2009, right? Right around
I
there?
started, yeah, I started the band in 2009, working with a producer by the name of Human out here in Portland, and putting the songs together and the ideas and the concepts and all that. And then in 2010, I kind of grouped together the guys that we started playing the band with, and started just, we hit the ground running, man. We were playing shows literally everywhere that we could, anywhere and everywhere, you know, 5, 6 times a week, and jamming every single night. And just the band was literally our like one and only thing that we cared about, and our mission to get the word out. So we were spreading around Portland like and Oregon all over like herpes.
That's good. And when you guys started the band in 2009, let's see, B's back again. Let's see if he's finally able to hear us. Hopefully he is. But in 2009, compared to now, think about this. You didn't have really social media as prevalent as it is. And I guarantee you probably were not a content creator, as they call us, not then. So how has things changed for you in that aspect of the music going from, 2009-ish, that whole era of not needing that to now, and how everybody basically has to be a content creator?
So the funny thing is that we kind of were content creators back then, and there's videos you can find on YouTube from way back when I would record myself in the studio and with the band, and us just having stupid antics, us doing stupid things to each other. Like, for example, there's footage out there of my drummer, Brick, he was showering one time after a show, and my brother and I break into the bathroom. It doesn't show anything like bad on him, but he's behind the curtain, and we're throwing like beer cans and everything you can from the trash can at him while he's trying to shower. And we posted on YouTube just as a gag, as you know, just showing that the band has fun and we can joke with each other and that kind of stuff. So we were creating videos and posting them long before it was like really like be a content creator. But you know, I don't think we got much attention from that alone, just because it wasn't a very popular thing to see, I guess, back then, unless you were watching like the Pantera DVDs. And that's actually what inspired us to record those things,
Okay.
was watching the Pantera DVDs and Lamb of God and Mudvayne and all that kind of stuff. Those behind the scenes DVDs really inspired us to videotape ourselves. But back then, what we were doing is we were printing flyers and printing out CDs with our demos, and we would go to all the big shows around the area, and we'd wait for all the people to come out of the show, and we'd be handing out flyers to our next shows and demos of our CDs. Like I'm talking by the hundreds.
Oh
So
yeah.
we were spreading the word in that fashion back then. And sometimes we still will do that. We'll hand out stickers or whatever after shows just to like get the word out if we're playing a show nearby or if we have a new song coming out. But I think adjusting to social media wasn't too hard. It was more the investing in in learning how to create ads. That's been kind of a challenge for us. And I've been
Yes.
investing in creating ads. I'm not talking about boosting a post. I'm talking about actually going into Meta ads manager and figuring out, target audiences and who to reach them and what channels and what forums and fashions. And that's been a learning curve for me. I've been watching a lot of videos on how to properly do it. And some of them work great. Some of them, flop. And it's just, you have to go in there constantly and check out the numbers and slightly make adjustments on the things that are not working. So I think we've just been learning to adapt with it. The biggest challenge probably has been that there is just so much content out there to consume for people
Hmm.
that I think just people get to the point where they're like, all right, I don't know what's what. Like, I don't even know what your latest single is sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, so, and people want the next thing. So as soon as you put something out, they're already expecting, okay, when's the next one coming out? I'm like, it's only been out a week.
Yeah. Exactly. And
So that,
it's that mentality of, like you said, it's like, what's next? What's next? It's kind of how people consume things anyway, and how I notice, especially with events, like you could invite people who normally would go out to shows, but they wait till like the last minute to actually go out because they're waiting for the next best thing to come their way.
you're
So
100% correct on that.
I
I'm one of those
love,
people who does that.
yeah, and I do that too. So I'm at fault also. But kind of going back to what you were saying, how you guys used to promote with doing the guerrilla promotion. That's what I absolutely love for bands. I've been trying to get some of the bands that I'm working with to do more of that. Go to shows, hand out flyers, because not you're already at a concert that somebody is already at anyway. So why not promote to those people that are actually going to shows? Not everybody on social media, when you put an ad out, is going to be hitting up shows in your area or even wanting to check it out. It's like they're already there at the venue. Hand them something. That's how I found the band Disturbed back in the late '90s. They used to hand out little demo tapes. I mean, Chicago was infiltrated around like the metro and downtown with bands standing outside handing out little flyers. I saved them all. It's crazy how much shit, but I still think that needs to be done now. Like you
I
said.
100% agree. And with that being said, right now is the best time to do it because you don't see that happening. So you don't have the competition of everyone
Exactly.
flooding the show with handing things out. Because at that point, I do remember when I was a kid and I'd be getting those CDs. I'd get excited at first, but then it got to the point where there was just so much coming at you with different things after a show
you didn't know what to grab or what you already grabbed, or it was all just
Right.
like it's kind of like spam mail. Right now is probably the best time to do that, and it would be smart
to get back to doing it more frequently. Like I said, we do it. We do it once in a blue moon.
when we played Rockfest a couple years ago, we printed out a bunch of flyers and we put our QR code. It had our picture on there to attract attention.
Perfect way
um,
to
you
do it.
know and we let them know what stage we were playing at and whatnot. So that way, if people wanted to scan the little QR code, it took them right over to our Spotify and our links that they can find us easily on. So um, yeah, I 100% agree with you. I wish I would see that more with bands, and it's an old tactic that hasn't been done for a long time. That I think if people started doing it again, you probably see it being effective, and then probably get oversaturated again eventually.
Yeah, but like you said, I would used to walk out of shows and I'd be handed anywhere from 5 to 10 things at a time, whether it was a flyer, whether it was a demo tape, whether it was a CD or something like that, and people just handing shit out. And it was one of those situations where it was like you took it, you maybe listened to it at one point, or it just kind of sits on a shelf for a while. So it's one of those couple things there that kind of fit with that. Now, I want to get into what you guys do in the music part. So, your whole look, you obviously have the masks and everything. A lot of bands are like that. How do you want to stand out in terms of just visuals and also with your music? How are you progressing in that manner?
So the way that we're progressing slowly, and I think it's kind of always been like this since the very beginning, is that we're not trying to hide our identities like a lot of these bands do. And a lot of these bands live in this world, you know, of being these mythological demons or creatures or from another planet or whatnot. And the way I look at the masks is they're basically our inner demons within us that wants to come out and do these bad things or give into the corruption and the greed of everything that's around us and the temptations. And we all have, you know, multiple faces that we wear every day, you know, that like multiple personalities, and we all have temptation that lives within us. We all have an angel and a devil on each one of our shoulders. And the way I kind of look at that is basically, oh, it sounds like we have Justin in here.
He's here.
Yeah. And Rommel. I don't know what was going on. Every time I come in, I had no sound and no
We noticed.
microphone.
It's not your fault.
It through Facebook Messenger, and now that I just went straight to the Chrome. But we're good. You guys keep going.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll bring you in eventually, or feel free to jump in while we're talking.
No worries.
But feel free, Cody, if you want to finish this idea.
So basically, we don't, like I said, we don't hide behind the masks. You'll see us in our videos. We do act out without our masks, you know, as a part of a character of ourselves. And then there's the character that eventually comes out as well. In our photo shoots, obviously, we take photo shoots in the masks as part of the look. But we don't feel trapped that we have to be in that mask at all times. And we're not hiding our identities. We're not trying to come off as some mythological creatures from this other planet and tell a story about that. It's more of it's an alter ego. It's a demon that lives within us that sometimes comes out. That's all it really is. And we don't take ourselves too seriously. Like we grew up with, you know, Jackass, Beavis and Bud, South Park, The Simpsons, that kind of stuff. So we like to have fun with it, and we don't try to come off as some creepy, spooky, you know, demon type of thing. So whenever people make fun of it and whatnot, I'm like, you really don't understand what this band is. Like the people that get it, and the people that don't, they assume what it is, and it's like I'm not gonna try to convince you. You know, you've made up your mind, and it is what it is.
So I'm trying to focus on your answer while, you know, these two goofballs below us are messing around with their heads popping in and out. So it's just interesting seeing them. So we got Justin obviously jumped in.
You can't take this fucker anywhere. This is Rommel,
the
bass
little
player.
head that popped off on the side there.
He's been working on his car all day.
I'm the one that needs a chaperone.
But
usually no one wants to chaperone me, so I'm free to do whatever I want.
Well, I mean, somebody has to chaperone you eventually, right? I mean, Jesus Christ. Holy cow, can't take them anywhere.
Never.
So, by the way,
no.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
So we've been discussing basically the whole idea of the masks, the progression of the band, and kind of where you're going. And I kind of see what Cody's saying, the whole aesthetic of it. You're not trying to portray you are kind of portraying some of you're not on stage, but you're not doing this as your whole identity. Obviously, there's bands out there,
Correct.
And I'll just throw some names out there. You got President. You also have Sleep Token. Boom, there you go. So just kind of throwing those out there. And Justin, what do you think? Like, how has this progressed for you mentally and just aesthetically with the band, and how you guys are progressing with the band as well?
Well, I'm pretty new. Josh and I came in, 2 years ago. But I mean, as far as progressing, I know that AOD was taking a little bit of a hiatus, and Cody and I were at a house, and he showed me the new stuff they're working on, and I was like, this doesn't even sound like AOD. It's amazing, and
it's definitely changed in terms of the sound of the band.
And I really I liked Great American Dream. I listened to that, and we all been friends forever, and I listened to it, and that even was a big step from the last album. And it went to a whole nother level. Like, each album was such a big up step, and then this new one we're going to be putting out is even it's better.
It's a new level.
It's a new level. It's great. I mean, it's right. Artificial Infection really had its sound that it bounced around a little bit through the album, but it all kind of sounded, very similar in a way. But the new one there's so many different styles we're throwing in and trying really everything.
Well, then you got Riffmaster 6000 right here too, though.
Yeah,
that's a different story.
Yeah, it's just
brings more.
I love the progression, and Cody and I talked about it before we started writing this album, and he's like no holds barred. We're going anything and everything. Let's just go for it. You know, we've had the other 3 albums that, you know, have their sound. This new one's just its own beast, and I'm looking forward to everyone hearing it. So
Well, it's cool. Like you said, you came into the band. You guys came in 2 years ago. You obviously had then about what 14 years before that without you. You had a different sound with the band American Overdose at that time. Now there are a lot of bands out there that sound alike. You know, not alike, but their music doesn't really progress.
yeah,
When hear that, or I see bands that really don't push their boundaries, like you said, that's what you're kind of doing. I see them stuck in a rut. But then you get a band that kind of changes things a little bit every album, and then it's like, oh, you're selling out. So it's like, how do you
yeah.
kind of mix that so it doesn't feel like that's what you're being pigeonholed into? Whether either you're gonna sound the same for the rest of your fucking life, or you're gonna kind of change things up. It's like, how do you find that happy medium in between? I'll let you guys down there answer first, and then we'll go to Cody.
Yeah, it's a fine line because, like you said, you can try something new and people can just see it as selling out, or you could be, you know, just the Godsmack that finds their niche sound and they, um,
Exactly.
or I've always wanted to progress. I think if you're not progressing, you're regressing. But you know, that's kind of my take on, for instance, Load and Reload, Metallica. They went this
They
crazy
got
different direction,
shit.
and it's
Yeah,
like
they got
everyone's
shit
like, "Oh,
back
you
in the
sold
day.
out." No, they got more musical and they the new because they can. And
Mhm.
I saw that as a great thing, but they lost a lot of fans for it. But you know, that's the risk they took, and that is the risk you do take. So I think this new album's gonna it's got enough hooky stuff that maybe people will complain, but old sound on my stuff. I'm trying to, you know, trying to bring back a little bit of the American Dream, Great American Dream album into it, and then also the Artificial Infection, and then also bring forward something else that not on the table yet. So um, yeah, we're giving it a go. We'll see if it goes over well. I think it will.
And you mentioned obviously Metallica with their Load and Reload. There's a obviously a more recent band that's gotten shit for kind of changing up a little bit, and that would be Linkin Park. And that was
Hmm.
even before Chester passed away. So their last album, they totally changed like a sound of theirs. And obviously now with him gone and Emily coming in, like the whole dynamic has changed. So Cody, if you want to kind of answer that question as well, about trying to find that happy medium between keeping to yourselves on who you are and growing as musicians. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that.
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
if you obviously, it's going to be obvious if you're chasing the latest trend, people are going to hear it, they're going to see it, they're going to see that you're doing everything like that. Now,
Hmm.
if you're evolving, people can see that. So, like the great thing about I think our sound is you can go listen to the first album, listen to the second album, listen to the third album, and then you start hearing some of the new stuff. You can see the progression of the band. We still have our signature kind of sound there, but it's only gotten better. Like the sound quality, the production, the mixing, the writing, the lyrics, the theatrics, everything about the band. You can so those people that's what the people that follow us since the beginning love about us is they've seen it grow. It's been a slow process, but they've seen the band grow and evolve. And we're going to continue to do that. And I think that the fine line is basically you just have to feel like you're being true to yourself and you're not trying to chase after a radio hit because at the end of the day, who really does listen to the radio? And like I was talking about earlier, people now are looking for a story. How do
Hmm.
they connect with what you're giving them when you're presenting, especially a visual band like us, and we're constantly putting out videos? Are we telling you a story that connects with you that you can relate to? Are the lyrics touching you in a way that you feel them, not just hear them, but you feel them in your heart and you remember them? So I think just being authentic and just being true to what you want to do and not chasing after what is popular and what all the other bands around you are doing.
And actually going into that, that's going to be my next thing is there's certain radio stations you listen to, and I'm not going to say terrestrial. It's more internet satellite radio based. You could turn on a station, you could basically hear the same format on every song all the way through, and it's almost like it's a copy and paste mentality. It's like the the creativity is kind of gone
Yep.
from it, and it's just the overproduction of things, and everything flows exactly the same. And I've been hearing this, and it's kind of mind-boggling on how that creative aspect is kind of being lost. I'm not sure if it's with the producers or who's doing all this, but then when you have a band that actually changes it a little bit, say like your Bad Omens and your, Sleep Tokens, then all of a sudden it's like, well, this is shit. This is not rock. This is not metal. We don't know what it is. So again, how do you find that happy medium on not chasing trends, but then trying to be different? Because it's like a whole different animal when you get into all that. We'll start with Cody on this one.
I think that with our band, especially when we just, and I'll be flat out honest and say we don't give a fuck what people think about us, and we'll talk shit back. We have no problem putting things out and people criticizing us. We've been criticized since we first started this band. As a matter of fact, when I first started American Overdose, the producer that I was working with at the time, he flat out told me, "This is not going to do well. It's not popular style of music you're trying to chase after." Which I flat out told him. I said, "I want to do a new metal industrial style band." He's like, "It's not popular right now, and it's gonna flop. It's stuff that's like way in the past. It's it's not gonna do anything." I said, "All right, that's fine. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it when it's not popular to be new metal. When people were considering new metal was a bad word." So I think that the fact that we just have never cared, and we've always had people critique us and always talk shit about us, and then we have those people that really love us and really get really into the band and buying all the merch and coming out to the shows. And we've had fans that drive like hours to come see us when we come near their town. So we have a dedicated, awesome, loyal fan base, and we like every day we're recruiting more and more people. I think we just have really thick skin. It's our generation as well that that we're from. We grew up in the age, and we still do it to each other, where we pick on each other and talk trash to each other, and that's how we get along. So I think it's the fact that we just don't care and don't worry about what other people are doing or what other people are saying. So another thing I don't do is I try not to scroll through what other bands are doing and try to chase after what they're like. If they're doing certain types of videos or certain type of things, I'm like, I just don't want to look at it because I don't want people thinking that I'm copying it, and I don't want to be influenced by it, if that makes sense.
See, being influenced on it to me isn't an issue. It's more of obviously the copy and paste mentality, like I said earlier, that I've
Yep.
been hearing on music. I want to kind of go into a little kind of idea with this as well. So AI is a huge talking point right now, bad and good. I see it as a tool to be used when needed. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
But when you have bands coming out, actually putting music out there, I actually just wrote a whole article on this on Sound Fury magazine if you want to check it out. AI versus humans. And I'm always going to say humans will never be taken over by AI, at least in terms of live shows and the production and the creativity, because AI doesn't have that creative mind. They copy and paste things again that we've already seen. So I want Cody, we'll start with you on what you think and how AI can be utilized, if at all, going forward with any type of music.
It's just a tool, man. I've been using it myself. We haven't used it on any American Overdose tracks that we released or anything like that, so I don't want people thinking that, oh, they've already done it. But I've been using it as in, like, I will come up with something, I'll write the guitar, record it, drums, whatever, and then I'll run it through Suno, which is an AI program, music program.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize this, that Suno is, you can use it as a tool, or you can use it as something that just writes everything for you. It can write you a whole song without you doing anything.
I actually made a song in kind of like a funk hillbilly rock song, and I'm like, it actually came out pretty good. I fucking hate that I could say that, but it did. And the fact that I could sing it is actually pretty cool. But I'll let you finish your comment.
So what I always do when I run something through there, it's something that I've written myself that I've plugged in there, and there's parameters that you can set on how much you want it to do the writing for you and how much you want it to keep to the original. So I always stick to keep
at least 96% of the original idea that I put in there, and I give it the 4% leniency to do its own little thing. And then there's a weirdness tab on there as well that you can adjust, and I just keep that kind of slid to the far minimal. And then from there, I get an idea of what the song could potentially look like and sound like. And from there, I can get all sorts of ideas, go back and record it, or give it to Justin, or give it to my producer, and we can develop it from there within ourselves. Not rely on Suno's mix or Suno's writing, but as like you said, it's a tool. I think it's foolish for anybody to think that this thing is it's going to take over humans, like you said. I don't think it's going to take over humans. It's foolish for anyone to not use it as a tool, because a lot of people are already doing it, and a lot of people are going to do it no matter what. And if you're going to hold yourself to that disadvantage, you're refusing to move on with technology. Can you imagine if the person that that when they first found out that effects pedals or amps were around said, "No, I'm not doing that. That's not," can you imagine that? Imagine being that person and like, look where we're at now. So that's my take on it.
Interesting you just said that. So I actually read and actually listened to an interview from the Doors' Jim Morrison from 1969. I don't know if you guys seen this or know anything about it, but he talked about humans at that time, musicians, utilizing machines more. And this is 1969. So he was talking about, he didn't say computers, but he was talking about machines more than anything, how it is going to change music in the future. It is, it has, and it will. And like you said, think about when they were just doing 4-track recordings compared to what they're doing now. So it's a huge change in terms of what's going on, especially digitally and everything like that. And not only that, AI is, to me, just an extension of all of that anyway. So you're already doing the sounds and the mixes and everything together. This, again, is more of a tool. And the boys down there, if they want to answer or comment on this, feel free. Just make sure you turn your mic on. There you go.
Yeah, I use Suno for one thing, and I'll make a doodle on guitar, something I want synth, and the other songs I've done, I just go in and use the virtual keyboard. But my new computer I just started using, stop it. It's trying to touch me. The new computer I just got, for some reason stuff isn't working right. So I found that I can record the guitar melody, put it on Suno, and say, I want piano here. And I just make it 100% style influence, 100% everything, no weirdness. So it's identical to what I play. So I'm basically using my guitar as a keyboard because I can't play a keyboard, right? And then when we send that to our producer, he redoes it, the same melody, and he makes his own synth, but follows my same melody. So anyway, that's all I use it for. I use it to recreate my guitar into a MIDI, and that's it. But it's my notes, my melodies, but I let the AI make it a piano. That's it. As far as using it for anything more than that, I don't want to personally. But I've let it do a little bit of drums for me, and then I have Josh or Britt come over and redo them. But just so I have something to flow to, I'll put the riff in there and have it pump out drums so that I can play to drums at least while I'm recording and get more of a flow. Because playing to click, recording guitar to click, just there's no feel to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's the extent of my AI usage. But yeah, he just said a good point while the mic was off.
He's older than me, but I think I'm older than him in the music side. AI is like, you gotta think so. Like today I was driving and getting parts and shit for the truck. Actually, I was trying to get my mom on here to say hello in the interview, but she wouldn't let. 2112 came on. I was like, and I was just, I was like, dude, like AI takes everything from everything and brings it in, but that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for everyone before us.
Yeah, humans laid the brickwork, and AI is just copying it. And so you can't do it better.
If you can't do it this, you can't do it this, and this. like if you're a musician, you're not. And I guess it takes the piss out of you when like you see people like just putting shit out, and you're like, I know you didn't make that. Just where kind of like it just get I just everything kind of seems more generic these days too. Is even playing field, even equalizing drums, guitars, like structure wise. Like if you listen to 2112 or Working Man or fucking White Snake, or I mean shit, I love Billy Ocean. Like that's
awesome.
And it's like one of my favorite dudes. But like, you know when it's human and you know when it's not.
Exactly. You can usually tell. You can usually tell just because the flow and how things progress in a song. But then again, there's so much out there that can mix. Yeah. It's like you might not know a fucking thing until, obviously they're not going to be able to play a show, so they're not going to be able to draw anybody.
Well, so it's like, and I hear music these days too, and like, yeah, dude, that badass, that's fucking heavier shit, but like, there's no connection with it. So like,
correct.
Let's just say that you were a teenager coming around and Cemetery Gates comes on this, but then you like emotionally go with and down, and you're just, and it's now. So if somebody was write something like that these days, it just, I don't know, I guess maybe telepathy or something through the music with human and human. There's a connection. That's just me. I'm right.
I'm gonna read a quick excerpt from my article here on the AI. So AI builds from patterns, artist builds from experience. Every real song has a fingerprint on it, emotional, psychological, and cultural. It comes from somewhere, a breakup, a protest, a collapse, a rebirth, a belief, a question that wouldn't go away. Even party records come from real need for release and connection. AI does not need that or does not know where it's coming from.
Exactly. There's 100%. No emotion, no human, no feeling, no like actual passion. It's just It's like just etch a sketch it and fucking send it off.
Yeah, and the other part of that article too, I wrote something about, it doesn't feel emotion. It doesn't know how to hurt. It doesn't know how to fail. It doesn't know how to overcome and actually make the songs that matter. Think about the songs growing up that we listened to that was just like, fuck you, or like, we love it because it's a love song or whatever it is. AI just fucking will replicate it from something else that it's already been done.
Soon enough,
and there's a journey.
Like, these motherfuckers that use that, these guys that use that shit and they want to put it out like that shit, be like, well, motherfucker, you have to step up to the plate, because if you can't replicate that, you're a fake.
There you go. Before we get out of here, I want to kind of just ask a question for you guys. You can kind of all answer separately. What do you find is the biggest struggle right now for not just recording artists, but for touring artists as well? I'll start with Justin down there.
The biggest struggle for touring?
Just
money.
Just artists overall.
The music industry, and so I mean, I know the social media is a good thing because that's like the new wave of it, and I'm totally into that. But like back in the day when people used to hand, like, they trade cassettes.
We were already talking about that earlier. So
yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, the hardest thing these days, honestly, is unless you're the bigger, already established band, like, the old school Metallica, Korn, all
veterans.
It's hard to get people out of the house anymore. That they just want to sit and play video games.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to come see a live show.
Or you can watch it from your fucking couch.
Go on YouTube and watch, like, oh, I'm interested in this band live, and they'll watch for 5 minutes and then they're done. It's that generation and that culture is leaving. That's why when I go to Metallica shows or something and I see all these little kids running around, I'm like, hell yes, that's. Yep. But you got that big gap. You've got 5-year-olds and then 40 to 50-year-olds. There's not much in between. Well, Metallica there is. Luckily, Stranger Things kind of boosted their teenager scene, but
that definitely helped.
But other than that, it's just
it takes a fucking show like that just to boost somebody that's been around, deserves the respect, and then but like everyone hears Metallica and they're like, well, is it that one song like Higher?
Creed?
Like they don't know. Like, you know, it's just like, oh,
Is this Creed?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think that's the hardest part is just finding your audience and getting people to come to your show and
but yeah, think about there's
paying
no
for your tour.
and there's no labels that push metal or rock or anything anymore. Everything is all like either veterans and bringing on newcomers to try and bring them. Everyone's like either a solo on their own, out of pocket, or they have some kind of deal. But it's nice to see that there's more festivals coming.
Yeah, that's true. The festivals are obviously very good, helpful to push newer bands.
We're the fucking hit parader.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why I started my magazine. I kind of
circus
and
circus, anything, new bands, always coming out, always coming out, always coming out. Now it's Dead Dick Stone.
Yeah, so that's why I started my magazine too, because I wanted something physical for people to have in hand, to see, to read. Here, let me just grab my most recent one right here.
I think like people like there's bands that people are interested.
Is that?
Oh hell yeah!
It's reversed.
Don't worry, I'm dyslexic. I can read it.
You know what the problem is though, Evan. You know what it is that I was going to say this about the AI as well. Is that the younger generation also doesn't appreciate the journey. So the journey of writing a song, that's what it's all about. The journey to going to a show or picking up a CD at the store. It's not even nowadays when I go to a concert, I don't care to get up close. I can be up on the field, but it's about who I'm going to go with, who I'm going to meet up with there. Well, the kind of stories we're going to be telling and laughing, but there's also music blasting in the background. And I'm going to be laughing because one of these guys is, running around half naked, chugging beers and throwing shit out in the crowd or whatever. It's that part of it. When we're leaving, I'm going to go pick up a fucking burrito at 2:00 in the morning and it's going to be a late night. And then the next day I'm going to be hurting because my ears are ringing and I was up late. People can't appreciate that journey. That's why they don't leave their house, because they don't understand that journey is part of the fun. It's actually the majority of the fun.
The concert's just kind of like that bonus.
I miss waiting in line at Sam Goody to go get the fucking new record that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say that too, and not only that, but back in the day when you used to be able to buy tickets going up to like Sam Goody or Tower Records or even
G.I.
Joe's, Fred Meyer.
Like I used to stand in line
was the other one.
for who did I stand in line for sure? It was Beastie Boys. Fucking oh my god, holy shit. It was band the Juggalos, who whatever ICP.
American Overdose.
In line for tickets for them back in the day. Limp Bizkit back in the day used to stand in line for tickets for. So
I sat in line for like 5 hours for Pantera Reinvented Steel just to get fucking floor tickets. And I was third in line, dude, sitting there. It's still dark out.
The people you meet in those lines then also become friends. And then also we're going to be at the show. So, you kind of have a mutual like for something already. But yeah, like you guys were saying, you don't have that one-on-one connection anymore with that stuff because of that. Because everything is online, everything is internet based, and it's just hard for people to get out and communicate. Communicating is huge, and obviously what you guys are doing with music is communicating what you want to out there, and you just want people to kind of take it in.
So, everything's instant gratification now, and traveling to a concert is not instant for anybody anymore. You can do everything online, so why leave?
And then like how we became like with Cody and like other people around the music scene too is back in the day is, like the cassette sharing shit. Dude, we'd hop on our BMXs and just go staple the fucking town with flyers, hand out CDs, whatever here. It was a hustle, and you built yourselves, and then around here, everyone knows who we are and we're all good friends and stuff like that. But now it's people just do it from just sitting on their fucking.
You create a Facebook event that no one sees.
Mom,
exactly.
They rely on that.
you could max out on inviting people, and you'd have 3 people say, "Oh, I never saw it," and then you're like, "Oh,
yeah." But we would go backpacks and just flyers every day, every night. Dude.
We used to have little speakers taped to our backpack straps, and we'd play our CD of our band and walk around downtown and hand out CDs.
See, this is shit that Cody and I were talking about earlier that needs to come back.
Yeah. I think he
What
might have
fuck
done that
did
too
you-
back in the day, but he probably copied us.
I just bleed.
Bullshit.
Well,
He
gentlemen,
looked up to us. We're
We
his
taught
heroes.
him everything he knows.
I absolutely
Except
love
for the
it.
haircut.
I love it that all three of you came on today. Obviously, you have the new song out, Time Bomb. What else do you have coming up? You were mentioning the album. I didn't see anything on that. So if you want to tell me about it, when it's coming out, what's going on with it?
I'll let Cody do that. It's his baby.
We're planning on releasing it at some point this year. Hopefully, early summer, midsummer. We'll see. Right now,
be a new hairdo.
we're getting ready to. We're gonna play a show with Drowning Pool down in Reno, Nevada, in March. The end of March, we're playing some festival called Inferno Fest.
Okay.
And then we will be playing at Rockfest in Cadott, Wisconsin, with bands like Offspring and Machine Head, Gojira, Limp Bizkit,
Body count.
I Prevail, Body Count. So we're gonna make a little tour, a 2-week tour from that we're gonna be playing along the way, on the way there and then on the way back. And actually, this weekend we're shooting a video with Johnny for a new single,
Yeah, Johnny
Santos.
Santos. That's correct. Spine Shank.
Yep. So we're shooting a video with him on Sunday for the next single that will hopefully come out in the next month and a half or so. I'm really excited about that one because talking about
Pushing the boundaries and doing things that we've never done before. This next song is going to be very different than anyone has ever heard us do ever. And I think it's going to come out of, for people, it's going to come out of left field.
It's folk rap. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I think we're just still like old fuckers now.
Down country.
We're still old fuckers that are still kids and just like the hustle and the grind and everything that goes into
We're not
fucking
old. We're
starting.
26. That's not bad.
Yeah, we're middle age.
26 again? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yes.
But yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Obviously, if you want to drop your socials here, just tell everybody where to find you. Obviously,
What the fuck is the internet?
Oh.
Josh doesn't use the internet.
AmericanOverdoseBand.com. You can find us on there. We have a link tree. It's American Overdose. It's AMERAKIN.
Says it right down in
Overdose.
the corner.
It's misspelled there, actually. Everyone always
Get the
misspells
hell
it.
out of here. Did I spell it wrong? And
You
didn't
forgot the
tell
A.
me?
There's an A on there. I don't want to be a dick, but you called it out. So
You son of a-
He went
Where's
that
all
way.
good.
Huh?
Oh, it is wrong.
Where the fuck is the A? American.
the A is right there in the
Akin.
first I. Instead of the first I, it's Akin. AMERAKIN.
Christ.
He's trying to make you a
There you go.
communist, Cody.
Man, you 47 minutes and you didn't say anything till now.
I don't want to call you out and be a dick. It's your show.
Oh, you gotta call me a dick when I say you put your band name wrong. Jesus Christ! Now I'm gonna have to do a edit over and just put a little
Well,
funny.
I mean,
Hey,
Megadeth is, not Megadeth.
Well, I guess this is our viral moment. Cody.
It's
There you go.
Silent.
Yeah, 47 minutes. His douchebag didn't have a fucking band name correct. Now he called him.
The joke's on you.
There you go. But again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Obviously, this is Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show. Sound Fury Magazine is the magazine. And like I said, there's a badass article out there. AI versus humans written by me. So
I'm going to
check
check
like
it
it.
out. Thank you.
Humans
Check
will
it
always
out.
fucking win. Grip and rip.
The machines are going to win, right? Isn't that what happens in
Terminator.
Oh, hell no. No. John Connor, he took care of some
Sorta.
shit in that third one.
Mm.
Don't ever fuck no. We created
Wait,
them. We can
somebody-
destroy them. It's just
somebody
like when your
actually-
mom said, hey, I pushed you out. I can push you back in. You better watch your mouth.
I was going to say somebody actually watched the third Terminator. Oh my god! Sorry.
Eat them all.
Well, the third one with the chick is actually pretty good. It's the fourth one with the.
Oh,
when it's
that's what it
post.
is. Okay, the fourth one. Oof. I don't even want to get into that. Anyway, but yes, just make sure you follow American Overdose with an AKIN, not IKIN, like I had earlier. And obviously, the songs everywhere. They're going to be playing at Rockfest, like he said. Also in Vegas at the end of March. and it's going to be awesome. And hopefully they'll get around Chicago or Cincinnati so I could see you guys. Or
I
We're
think we
working on
should.
Chicago date.
I
Yeah,
just
we're
need to
working
get
on
my ass
Chicago.
to Wisconsin. So, all right,
Oh,
boys.
yeah.
Well, enjoy your evening.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man.
And until
Appreciate
next
it.
time, rock on.
Take care, man.